Are you doing these 5 things that are probably making your menopause symptoms worse? I know I was. So in this video, I'm going to share 5 things that I've given up after 50 because I think they were making my menopause symptoms worse. I've been in menopause now for about 8-9 years without using HRT, so I've had to figure out how to manage my menopause symptoms without HRT and just manage them naturally. So the first thing that I was doing was not prioritizing my self-care. Yep, that's a big one, I know, for a lot of us. Not focusing on taking care of myself, not focusing on setting boundaries, not focusing on making time for doing all the things that I know that I need to be doing to help me feel better and to manage my crazy menopause symptoms. So we all know, if you're in menopause, you know what I'm talking about. The joint pain, the brain fog, the anxiety, the tiredness because we're not sleeping, so we're just tired all the time. So one of the ways that you have to manage these, especially if you're not on HRT, is you gotta carve out some me time. You gotta start to focus on yourself, prioritize your self-care, and really set those boundaries. I know, if you're taking care of kids, you're taking care of your parents, everybody needs something from you at all times, but seriously, if you're not prioritizing your self-care, you are probably making your menopause symptoms worse. So that's one of the things that I changed not that long ago, though, actually, to really focus on feeling better because, we deserve to feel good. We deserve to feel better. So that is the first thing that I wanted to share. So the second thing that I hope you're not doing, but if you are, it's probably making your menopause symptoms worse, is inconsistent or insufficient activity. So if you're not moving your body, you're not doing any form of exercise, you're not walking, you're not swimming, you're not doing any movement, or you're super inconsistent, sorry to tell you, you're probably making your menopause symptoms worse. Now, I'm not trying to beat you up. I don't want you to feel bad. I don't want to give you a guilt trip. I just want to give you permission to focus on getting more active, to focus on doing some form of activity, some form of exercise that you can do and you can fit into your life. Now, again, it doesn't have to be hours and hours at the gym. It doesn't have to be going for a walk for an hour. It doesn't have to be doing anything, dramatic. You can start small. One of my philosophies is small steps make big results. So I'm a big believer in starting small, starting with 2 minutes, even 2 minutes, and then you build a habit. And as you develop the habit, you add on. So start small if you're not doing any form of exercise or if you're inconsistent. Just try to develop a consistent exercise routine, even if it is 5 minutes a day. And if you need help developing some type of activity or self-care routine, that's one of the things I do. You can schedule a call with me. It's a free call, and I can help you to develop some kind of self-care exercise routine. So I'm going to leave the link to my schedule below. So that was the second thing. Please, please, please be doing some kind of movement, whether it's yoga or something else. And again, I also have a free yoga for beginners playlist that I'm going to include the link below. So you can also download my yoga for beginners playlist. Those videos are literally 2 to 3 minutes each. It can help you to start a yoga practice with just 2 or 3 minutes a day. Who doesn't have 2 or 3 minutes a day? I know you have 2 or 3 minutes a day, right? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I know I'm not. So that's the second thing that you need to be doing. You need to have some type of exercise, consistent exercise routine in your life. So the third thing that if you're doing, you're probably making your menopause symptoms worse, is that if you are exercising the same way that you were exercising in your 20s and 30s, you're probably not helping yourself. You're probably making your menopause symptoms worse. So you gotta change how you've been exercising. If you were focusing a lot on cardio, you gotta start to focus more on strength training. You gotta start giving your body more time to rest and recover. You gotta start doing more stretching to maintain your flexibility. You gotta really focus on keeping those annoying joint aches and pains away, because if you're in menopause, you're probably getting, or you might be getting, joint aches and pains because of the declining estrogen. I know I was. So if you're not doing some form of strength training to keep those muscles strong, that will definitely impact your joint health. So if you're having lots of aches and pains, definitely want to be considering strength training as well as stretching, and again, yoga, perfect for us women over 50. So if you're not taking care of how you exercise, or not thinking about how you're exercising now versus what you were doing 20 years ago, you're probably making your menopause symptoms worse. So the fourth thing that you could be doing that's making your menopause symptoms worse is not looking at how you are eating. So yes, we know increased inflammation is one of the things that happens in post-menopause. Estrogen declining, body tends to naturally become more inflamed, and you really want to be looking at what you're eating, cutting out some of the inflammatory foods, adding in some of the anti-inflammatory foods. So this is even more important. If you're not using HRT, we can use our food to help us to supplement the estrogen that we're losing. So plants, there are some plants that mimic estrogen, phytoestrogens, chickpeas is one of them. So we want to be using our foods to help us to combat our declining estrogen. So cutting down on the sugar, cutting down on some of those other inflammatory foods, processed foods, fried foods, and including more anti-inflammation foods in our diet. So if you're not doing these things, ladies, you're probably making your menopause symptoms worse. And it's not that complicated or not that difficult to really make some small adjustments to your diet. And again, start small. And if you do, I think that you will find that you start to feel better. And then the last thing number 5, which for me has been fairly challenging, is to cut down on the drinking, cut down on the alcohol. So if you're a drinker, or if you just like your wine, your beer, your rum, whatever it is. I mean, like me, I went to drinking school. I've been drinking since I've been 17, so it's part of my life. I live in Jamaica, where, socializing is all about getting together and having a few drinks or drinking, whatever the occasion is. You definitely want to be, if you can't give up alcohol completely, which I've not yet, or been able to give up drinking completely, but you want to be cutting down a lot on your drinking. It's really not doing you any favors. It affects our sleep, it affects inflammation. So if you're still drinking, probably a little bit more than you should, and I think if we're honest with ourselves, we know if we're drinking more than we should, you want to be cutting down on the alcohol. So those are the 5 things that if you're doing, you're probably making your menopause symptoms worse, and that I have definitely been giving up since I am over 50. So just a quick recap of all of those things. Number 1, not prioritizing yourself, not having a consistent exercise routine, not changing the way you exercise over 50, fourth one? Not eating an anti-inflammation diet, and not looking at how much alcohol you're drinking. So let me know in the comments what you've had to change about how you live after 50. If any of these things resonated with you, I'd love to hear if you agree, disagree, and you can check out my next video here, which will help you with some of these things that we talked about. Okay, hope this helped. Let me know if you agree, disagree, and see you again soon.